Okay, so on Friday, this was 2 days before Mother's Day. So it was Mother's Day weekend. I had an MRI scheduled, and I was like,
But also, why'd you have an MRI scheduled? Oh my God.
just checking things out, trying to see if there are problems,
Things.
not problems, whatever. Yeah,
Sure.
it's
Okay.
nothing that's super serious, but nobody needs to know.
Okay.
Um,
Got it. I respect it.
and so I go in, and it was the most relaxing hour of my life because I walk in and she's like,
Wow.
I'm just going to need you to lay here and not move a muscle for 45 minutes. Here's a little squeezy thing. If you need me, you can, beep this. Otherwise, would you like a warm blanket? And I'm like, yes, that sounds
Yes, I would. Thank
amazing.
you so much.
And there's like the cool fan blowing on me. And I just get to lay there still for 45 minutes. And I was like, I don't know what's happening in the world. I don't have my phone.
Yeah.
There is a machine like this close to my face. So I'm going to close my eyes because that is a little claustrophobic. Like, I get why
Uh-huh.
people don't like this. But at the same time, I am not being bothered for an hour
Yeah.
straight.
Yes.
This is as close to a massage as it's going to get?
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Get Mom Ready. This is a podcast where we are navigating work and life on our terms and, quite frankly, figuring out what those terms are as we go along. So I'm Meredith. We've got Anna. Well, you've got Meredith and Anna today with you. We miss our other two, but you kind of get a mix of it sometimes. So today our topic is practical self-care, but Anna's going to kick us off with a little story first. So over to you, sister.
Okay, so I'm going to my MRI. My husband the night before, he's gotten a number of MRIs for different things, and he was just kind of prepping me. He's like, it's really loud and there's lots of beeping and it's kind of annoying. And I was like, I don't know. I think I'm gonna love it, and I think I might even take a nap because this sounds great. Like, just to lay there for a
Yes.
while, even if there is some beeping, whatever. It's just like the oven going off all the time. So
Fair.
nothing new. And so I go in, and it was the most relaxing hour of my life. And I was like, maybe I
100%.
need to schedule one of these every single Mother's Day weekend.
LOL. LOL. You're like, I'm just going to get my yearly MRI because that's a thing out of the way. No one can reach me. That is,
Exactly.
you don't ever hear, not just often, you don't ever hear people say, you know what I love to do? You know what I find relaxing in MRI? Because it is so claustrophobic. I have to
Yeah.
request, when I've had one done, I've had to request an open MRI because I would freak out if I was in
Yeah.
there. And I love that you were like, you know what? I am at such capacity that I'm gonna relish in this and close my eyes. Yes, I'll take the warm blanket. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was really eye-opening. Like, on this topic of self-care, kind of, it was like how much of self-care can be a mindset. And I feel
Yeah,
like
sure.
this is where we always go with our episodes. And I know this is supposed to be super practical, like, here are things, that count as self-care, and here are
Yeah,
creative ways to get your self-care in. But for me, self-care can be one of those kind of cringe terms. Like, I feel like a
totally.
lot of people feel about boundaries, or what, just this word that us millennials have
We
just
love it.
taken, and we've run with
Yes.
it.
Yes.
And we've run a little bit too far sometimes.
Totally.
And
Yes.
so, yeah, I was thinking in that MRI, I was like, you know what? I am going to use this as my self-care hour, and I am going to just let my mind be free, and I'm going to, hear these beepings, but hey, it's not anybody crying, it's not anybody calling for me or
Yep.
asking me to do something. It's just
Yes.
beeping around me, and that is
Yep.
wonderful. Like, I almost
Yes.
drifted off. It was,
Yeah.
and because I think I was able to look at it like, this could be a break. Let's
Yep.
use it as such.
Yes. You reframed it, basically,
Yeah.
is what I'm hearing you say. You reframed it and let it be, which, it's so funny. I do feel like I hear that from moms. They're like, well, normally I hate going to the dentist, but it's an hour by myself.
Yeah.
And it's not that we hate our kids. Let us be
Yeah.
very
Yeah. Yeah.
clear.
Yeah.
It's just that it is a complete excuse,
Yes.
which we don't, that's a whole separate conversation. Why do we need an excuse? But we do, or we feel like we do, to literally say, I am off the grid. I cannot help you. Tools will be in my mouth, or in your case, MRIs around my head and body. Like, I'm powerless, and
Yeah.
I cannot be of assistance in any way, shape, or form. Thank you so much.
Exactly. Exactly. And it's not to say that should be our only form of taking
Totally.
because the meaning, the real goal behind self-care is how do we not lose ourselves
Yeah.
in all of the identities that we carry,
Yeah.
right? Like how do we pay attention to the things that matter to us,
Yeah.
that make us us, so that we
Yes.
can show up as moms, workers, wives, whatever it is that
All
you
the
are,
things.
yeah, more full and still, in control of your life,
Yes.
not feeling
Yes.
like you're just spinning out of control.
Yeah.
And so I do feel like, I'll say it again, so much of that goes back to our mindset.
Mm-hmm.
It's some moms in some seasons don't have the ability to disconnect for 15 minutes of the day. They
Yeah.
just don't. They might be a
Yeah.
single mom. They might be working multiple jobs. They might, who know, have so many kids under a certain age that it's just not possible
Yeah.
to even take 15 minutes to go paint your own nails or take a bath or whatever. And
Yeah.
there are just seasons like that. And so I think it is important to remember that you can be that busy and still have moments that you can call self-care without feeling the guilt of like, oh, well, all these other, moms are out there telling me I need to spend Mother's Day at a hotel getting a manicure and a massage.
Right.
That's the only
Right.
way I can take care of myself,
Yeah.
because sometimes that's just not the reality,
Yeah, totally.
you know?
What I'm hearing you say is that self-care can and should look different from how it kind of is portrayed to us on, on whatever platform. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, I think so. And I think it can look all those ways. If you
Sure.
have the ability and the time and that really feels relaxing and recharges your battery,
Yeah.
great, go for it. I just understand that there are lots of seasons where that ain't going to happen and you
Yeah.
can still find peace of mind, which again is the kind of goal of quote unquote self-care that's become
Yeah.
such on a pedestal.
Yes. I am thinking about this phrase that my best friend taught me. I forget the name of the book she's reading, and I just ordered it from Thrift Books and it still isn't in yet. So when I get it, I'll report back and I'll start reading it and I'll report back some more. But it talks about this term, and forgive me, there is a millennial word in here, but we'll move through it. She apparently this book, I think it's a female author, talks about the difference between external boundaries and internal boundaries. And it is making me think that, or like what you're saying has me reflecting on how when you have really solid internal boundaries, again, go back to whether you want to call that principled living, a defined sense of self, just living in alignment, however you want to qualify it that works for you. When you have really strong internal boundaries, defined internal boundaries, there's a lot more self-care taking place, even if it's not dedicated, set apart time. And let me give you an example.
Yes.
I have this is going to sound almost silly, but there are layers to it. So just
Yeah.
hang with me for a sec. I have one of my best friends here was feeling overwhelmed by her closet. And you know me, I'm a girly pop big sis. I love to get in the closet and clean it out and say, yes, no, wear this. Oh my God, you look amazing in that. Please throw that out immediately, all the things. So she hollers at me. We had already gone through her closet before, but she was still having trouble, like not feeling overwhelmed by what outfits to put together and specifically with shoes. So we set another date. I go over to my girlfriend's house and what do? Well, the presenting problem is, even though her closet was organized, that wasn't enough for her. She still had the mental load of like, oh, what am I going to wear today? I have plenty of clothes, plenty of cute clothes. That's not the issue. I feel overwhelmed by what even to pair, put together, the shoes, the whole thing. Great. So she calls in help. Moi, thank you very much. It was so fun. Anybody can call me anytime for a closet clean out and like how to put outfits together. So she calls me. I spend some time over there. We put outfits together. Here's your daily uniform. Here are the 3 shoe options that work with this specific pair of jeans. We take Polaroids. They're in her closet. And what did that do for her? Besides it being a super fun day, of course, like I think societally we would say, oh my God, that's so fun. What a fun day of self-care. Sure, that can qualify. But here's what we were really doing. We were setting her future self up for success so that she could wake up and go, perfect. I know exactly that Maeve shirt goes with those Paige jeans and my Dolce Vita jelly
Yes.
slides. And like, I'm good to go for the 3 errands I have in the morning. I'm going to come back later and throw a sweatshirt over when I have dinner with my girlfriend. But like these jeans and these shoes work because that for her was her sticking point. So we identified, that's just a closet example, right? So it almost feels silly. It's not, but like we identified her sticking point and made a workaround. And that was the long game for her, for a type of self-care for her, because it helped her mental load get reduced because in the morning she is so overwhelmed by what in fact she should wear. And so again,
Yes.
it feels like a frivolous example, but like I would be willing to bet that if anyone feels overwhelmed by, like me until a few weeks ago, the pile of makeup I had in just a basket. Like just a basket at
Yeah.
catch all. Like, and
Yeah.
I'm shuffling through things to get to like
Looking for
the
that
little
one stick
concealer.
that's like this
Yeah,
big. Yeah.
exactly. I'm like, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't need to do this. I need to organize my makeup and like with a thing that has miniature containers and do my daily makeup in one thing and then my all my lipsticks in another because I got lipsticks on lipsticks. But like, great, I don't wear them every day. I don't need
Yeah.
them with all the other stuff. So I did that. And to me, again, simple, it reduced some friction in my morning. It reduced some frustration.
Yes.
And those are also things that I think matter so much because what happens is we have all these little, or we can, if you're like me, there can be all these little micro moments of friction or frustrations or not ease in your day. And then all of a sudden, you have enough of those and you're like, I need a bubble bath. And it's like, that's suddenly the answer. That's fine.
Yes.
I mean, for sure, take your bubble bath. Absolutely. And are there things that you can do in your life that are going to be a bit proactive on the front end? Again, a closet clean out, for example, can sound laborious, but on the front end, or I'm sorry, but on in the long term, is it going to be helpful to your overall mental load, your ease of living? Yes. And that to me is what I would submit is the form of self-care that we should be potentially attuning. Should is strong, but work with me here, attuning ourselves. We have an opportunity to attune ourselves to.
That is so true. And that could apply to so many things. Like any area of your house that feels like chaos or that you stumble upon every single day and experience that friction, like you're talking about. And you can do it with a friend. I feel like that makes it self
100%.
care. That makes it better than anything. If you can get a
Yes.
friend to do it with you, awesome. Even if you're just like,
Yes.
hey, come over. I'm going to organize a few things, but we'll listen to music. We have some wine,
100%.
whatever,
Yes.
like whatever you want to do. It
Yes.
makes it fun just doing it in
Yes.
community.
Literally.
Like, yeah, we have at my daughter's school, they can only wear closed-toed shoes, which I think is pretty standard. Um, but she's got so many pairs of shoes, like so many shoes, and they're all just kind of together in a basket
Yeah.
by the front door.
Yeah.
And she kept wanting to wear shoes she couldn't wear to school. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to take all of those
Aha.
shoes and I'm going to put them at the top of her closet because we're
Yeah.
really only going to wear them on the weekends. Like,
Yeah.
I'll show her those on the weekends, but
Yep.
when we're trying to, because I never have her shoes on until it's time to go.
Totally.
We're going to have these just like 5 pairs that she can
Yes.
wear
Yep.
right here. And it's still the like, sometimes she wants to mismatch and we still have little
Sure.
stumbling blocks. But like you're saying, those little tiny things can make such a huge difference. And
Yeah.
then it's self care every day because I'm like, oh my gosh, we didn't have a fight starting the day. What a great day. It's already
100%.
starting better. And I think that's
100%.
so true. Yeah.
It's how can I mean, I think every personality type is different. I
Yeah.
can get easily overwhelmed by clutter, for example, and my car, I want to keep it vacuumed, I want to keep it clean, and I recognize that I'm moving into a season with a toddler who when he's just, in the car seat and is sick of it, I want to have a little what are those little silicone bubble press things that they do
Yeah.
with their
Like pop
thumbs?
it.
Pop it. Yeah. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know the terms yet, but
Yeah.
like I want to be able to have like, especially on a road trip where they love a little bit of novelty. And we do take a fair amount of road trips, hand
Yeah.
one back to him. Now, what I don't want are a bunch of poppets all over the back of my friggin' car. I'll tell you that right
Yep.
now. So I'm like,
Yep.
Meredith, let's make a different choice. Why don't we have a little bag in the back or a little pouch or something? Every other mom's like, yeah, welcome to the party. But for me, I recognize that's going to frustrate me real quick. I already have 3 of them loosey goosey. I don't like it. So I'm like,
Yeah.
there. Let's just get a little bag that we connect or that we put somewhere and that you can create a system around it. Other mamas already have their systems. I'm not saying that all of this is a fix all for your mental health and your mental state and blah, blah, blah. But we do have to consider, I think, where the little points of frustration in our day are and how we can just make minor tweaks or take a couple hours to do the closet clean out, clean the car, whatever the heck it is. I think those things matter for the long game. And I think the long game piece is something that is not talked about as often on social media.
It's so true because yeah, you can have your self-care days, but if you're coming home and immediately triggered right after you do whatever that
Yep.
self-care is,
Yep.
you're at square one. And guess
Yep.
what? You just spent a whole bunch of money, maybe, or maybe you did something free. Maybe you took a bubble bath, but
Sure.
it kind of feels like I'm starting all over and now I
Or a
need
drop in the
self-care
bucket.
again. Oh,
That's
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Because you're
Exactly.
like, okay, then I'm stepping back into chaos. And I think,
Yes.
you know, I think we get to recognize that, of course, there is a built-in level of quote chaos. Chaos can even be too strong of a term, and even too, yeah, strong. I don't know, strong of a term. Something. It sometimes doesn't feel. Sometimes it's right on the nose, and other times it's like, okay, pipe down. But
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
regardless, life is a little extra when you have a kid, several kids, whatever. So like, okay, part and parcel, part of the process, whatever the phrases are. And I think the tension here is what I'm not proposing is that you have to constantly be looking for all the areas of frustration and fix them. I don't
Yeah.
want to be saying that. But if there are lingering ones that you know could be minorly tweaked, like currently for me, my sock drawer is stupid.
Mhm.
It's stupid. And it's
Yeah.
not one of those things that's in my conscious brain until I have these conversations and I'm like, huh, what are things that are causing me like a little bit of a little
Yes.
you know what I mean? And
Yes.
that maybe I'm not even conscious of it. It's my sock drawer right now. I'm like, I need to go through that. Okay, cool. Not a big deal. I'll pull a Jennifer Seiss. I'll name the exact time, which if you,
Yes.
dear listener, if you have not listened to the Jennifer Seiss podcast, please go back and listen. The time, the way her brain works and helps us all think about time is unbelievable. But like, great, I will set aside the time and name the time when I'm going to do it, and that will make me go, oh my gosh, I have so much more visual space from this drawer. How nice! It's so
Yes.
stupid, but it's helpful.
It's helpful. And if it's causing you friction and it's that simple, I know it can feel like, oh, it's
Yeah,
just so annoying to fix it. But
yeah,
like you're saying, if you can just look ahead and think how you won't feel that for the next
yep,
month or two until
yep,
maybe it gets a little crazy again.
sure.
Hey, what's
That's
30
right.
minutes versus 5 minutes every day feeling
That's
frustrated
right.
by it?
That's
So,
right. That's
yeah,
right. 100%.
totally agree.
Yeah, I think it's interesting to note that like my self-care, quote unquote, for my personality falls under like what does self-care look like for me? It's going to have a lot to do with organization and systems. That is not
Yeah.
everybody else's truth. In fact,
Yeah.
Erica Graham, if you listen to this message, let us know because I'm saying that with love because she's like that doesn't I don't my brain doesn't think that way.
Yes.
And so I actually would be really curious to hear from other different types of women what it actually looks like for them, what really does kind of reset them. And I think, okay, pause. This is it.
Yes.
That's actually the word that I think is important to introduce or to come alongside this idea of self-care. It really is what we're looking for is a reset. We're looking for a reset of
Yeah.
our attitude, of our expectations, of our environment. We're looking for a reset. So how can we facilitate that in a soft, sustainable way that helps us to be soft with ourselves and the people around us, you know?
Yes, I think that's such a good word for it, reset, because
Yeah.
that's exactly what we're going for. We're like,
Yes.
I want to decompress. I want to
Yes.
start at ground zero. I want to have nothing irritating me.
That's
Essentially,
right.
I want
That's
to feel relaxed.
yes.
Yeah, I want to feel
Yes.
unirritated is
Yes.
like
Yes.
the goal.
Even if it's a minor tweak, we want to take it down a notch.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
So one thing I've been learning about myself, you've been talking about how organization is kind of your form of self.
Sure.
For me, I have always struggled with taking quote unquote me time and what that should look like. I am a very social in the way, well, I'm a 2 on the Enneagram. So it's like, I don't really
Very
care what it
relational.
is. Yes, relational. That's a better word. I don't care what it is that we're doing as long as I am with someone that I love and we are having a good time together.
Yeah. Yeah.
So often I'll be like, what do you want to do? And I'm happy if they want to go shopping, watch a movie, clean out their backyard. Like, I
Sure.
don't care what the activity is. I just want to be with them and
Yeah.
them feel fulfilled. And then that fills
Yeah.
me.
Yes.
So the topic of self-care can feel especially ick to me because I'm
Yeah.
like, so I'm supposed to be by myself and I have to pick the activity, which is like, bleh, and then I'm supposed to feel better after, but
Right.
that doesn't
Yep.
compute here. Like that doesn't
Yeah.
make sense to me. So
Yes.
I realized this weekend, I think, anyways, it doesn't matter when. Weekends tend to be a tension point because, it's me and Emmy, and we're usually just trying to figure out what to do to where she's happy. I can still get stuff done. I have
Sure.
some time to enjoy, all of the moms understand. And so I decided, okay, she and I both work really well with a schedule. And what does it look like if I draw out our activities and it's like one for Emmy, one for me, one that we'll both enjoy, one for
Oh,
Emmy, one
fun.
for me. And I draw little pictures with like a time on it. She doesn't know
Yeah.
the time, but she can kind of follow along and be like, oh, this is when we're doing this. And I can see there's something else for Emmy coming up down here.
You're
So,
such
okay,
a good
mama,
mom.
you can do the dishes now or whatever, like
That's so wonderful. Oh my
something like
God, you're
that.
such a good mom. Oh, okay.
Well,
I'm teary. I'm not kidding. I'm not blowing sunshine up your ass. I really am like, that is so beautiful. Okay, keep going.
oh, it's one of those things. It's one of the few things I feel like I've learned about her. And I'm like,
Yeah.
that works with me too. We're speaking the same language.
Yes.
So, like, this little chart is so helpful for us. Like, it is
Yes.
amazing. And if she wasn't structured like me, that wouldn't work. And so it's,
Yeah.
but, and it's worked so well. And for me, it's self-care for me because I know I'm just like her. I'm like, okay, we can play Polly Pockets for 45 minutes because I know that there's a clear end
Yeah.
and I can give my all to you now.
Yeah.
And then at that time, I can start doing what I want to do or need to
Yeah.
do. And I don't have to think about it now and wonder, like, when in the day am I going to do this? Like,
Yes.
yeah, I have to break it to her that we can't play together all day.
Totally. Totally.
And so it helps both of us. And I can be more present playing. She can be more independent when I need to
Yeah.
do stuff. And we
Yeah.
just enjoy the day a lot more. And
Wow.
I feel like that is something too. I feel like our examples are actually pretty good for moms in a lot of different stages. Like, you don't have to have all the time in the world to do the things that we're talking about.
Yeah.
And that's one that I felt like, okay, yeah, like a
Yep.
lot of moms could easily do something like this.
Yes. Yes. And it's interesting because self-care in and of itself feels like a very simple topic, but in fact, it is quite nuanced. And not
Yeah.
just because we all have different personalities and have a different definition of self-care. It's not just that. It's also that, like, I think there is a way in which, A, that self-care is actually pretty proactive, and we've talked about that. But B, I think self-care is a really strong way for us to show up for ourselves, and it's a way for us to demonstrate to our kids how to care for themselves in a way that isn't just mommy's going to TJ Maxx to shop because she
Yeah.
wants something pretty and I get and life is hard so I get to do it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like
Yeah.
I have fallen into the trap of thinking I'm owed. Life is hard and I am owed, a stroll through the anthropology clearance section and to get whatever I want. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, well, that's not true. And doesn't take away that, like, you feel, I think I don't have this thought fleshed out, Anna, so forgive me for bumbling a little bit, but
Yeah.
I just think we get to kind of untangle that we are owed something. Sure. Okay. I'm not going to dismiss that idea entirely, but I want us to untangle that we're owed something and think about it more from the the proactive lens of, like, this truly helps my soul to rest, helps my nervous system to rest, helps me show up as a kinder, softer version of myself. Like, I show up better for myself and for others when, right? Fill in
Yes.
that blank.
Yes.
It's probably not, Meredith, when you have 3 new shirts from TJ Maxx. It's probably
Yeah.
not. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a quick hit of dopamine, and we all want that. Like, hello, this is the world we're living in. I
Yeah.
wouldn't qualify that as self-care. It's fun. I'm not here to
Yeah.
take away your fun. This Enneagram 7 is not here to take away your fun. But I also want us to be very, very realistic and very, yeah, just real with ourselves about there's a difference between fun and a, like, quick hit of relaxation that still doesn't help your long game of showing up well for yourself and for others,
Yes. 100%. Yeah. I've been thinking about that a lot, actually. I think a lot of moms have like the after bedtime mentality, right? Where we're like, okay, I just can't wait for bedtime. Every mom has thought that, and it is not mean. Once again,
Sure.
you don't love
Yeah,
your kids, but the days can be long. And
totally.
after bedtime is when we get to do whatever it is that we want to do. And so
Yeah.
I've been thinking about, like, okay, how do I not just crave bedtime? What can I do so that it's multifaceted? It's how do I not just crave bedtime? Like, that's just not healthy. It's not
Sure.
helping anybody. And two, how do I create an after bedtime that actually fills me back up instead of just like rush to the dopamine and then
Mhm.
it's like you wake up the next day just as exhausted. And Emmy's bedtime has been getting later and later and later for like the past year. And so I'm like, okay, that window that I have after she goes down is getting shorter and shorter.
Yep.
So how do I enjoy the time when she's still awake and set myself up to really feel refreshed and recharged in the short time I have,
Yeah.
before I go to sleep and she's up
Yep.
again.
Yep.
And so one of the things that I've started doing is since she's up later, I'm like, okay, well, that's 30, 45 an hour that I used to not be with her because she was asleep. So in that 45 minutes, I'm going to go clean the kitchen, like
Yeah.
whatever it is that I need to do to feel at peace so that once she's down, I can go straight to my room and read my book or,
Yeah.
decompress essentially.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so I feel like, and that this kind of ties into what you were talking about earlier with the closet clean out, but it's just little systems when your kids' routine changes and you don't have as much time anymore, when they drop a
Yeah.
nap, when they go
Yep.
to bed later, when they're having sleep struggles. Okay,
Yes.
well, what are the things that I can do at a different time
Yep.
since, that is no longer happening?
That's right.
Again, I'm kind of navigating this in real time.
Yes.
So
Yes.
not a fully formed thought either, but just reallocating time since their schedules change all the
A
time.
100%. 100%. Yeah. 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 It's a really interesting conversation. And I think it's almost like what we're saying is reverse engineering self-care and really zooming out. Why does it even matter? Literally, why does
Yes.
self-care matter? Because it cannot just be that you want the dopamine hit of pretty nails from going to get your nails done. That
Yeah.
cannot be it. I'm not
Yeah.
dismissing it. Again, your girl loves nails. So it's
Yeah.
not, none of this is to dismiss. It is just to say yes, and
Yeah.
it's a bit deeper than nails in a bubble bath, right? It's just a bit
Yes.
deeper than that. And the coach in me wants to say it's also more than just shopping with a slight air of entitlement and getting a treat at every turn because, the kids have been extra that week. Do you know what I'm
Right.
saying? That
Yeah.
is too easy. And so I
Yeah.
think this is the other thing that I'll say, and then, we can wrap this up. But self-care is not just low-hanging fruit for you to feel better in a quick pinch. Okay. And so that I think is the deeper, heartfelt message here. That sounded so dorky, but work with me.
No,
It is
I feel
not,
that. Yeah.
it's just not always low-hanging fruit. That can be a quick stand-in. And what are the deeper things that genuinely provide care for the self? The whole
Yes.
self, the whole self.
Yes. No, that's so good. And I wonder if we, like, even just for ourselves, come up with a different name for the things like, okay, I love getting my nails done and I'm going to do that regardless, but I'm
Yeah.
not going to call it self care. What am I going to
Right.
It's
Right.
just a thing that I do. It's a part of my day. And if I enjoy
Yes.
it, that's great. It doesn't have to be named self care because I'm having a good time. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
you don't
Totally.
have to rename something self care because you're enjoying it.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
so yeah, it's just I don't know if we can think about those things or getting a haircut or getting a massage. I know
Yep.
I think Holly has like a massage membership. And so she does go frequently and
Yes.
she might call that self-care, but it also might just be part of how she keeps herself healthy, her body
Yes.
a little bit
Yes.
more down. And that doesn't
Yes.
have to mean self-care. That can almost be like a doctor's appointment where it's like,
Yes.
I'm getting my body right, you know?
Yes. A hundred
Um,
percent. 100%.
so it's almost like a whole separate category.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just for my overall wellness,
Yeah.
which is all part of it. But yeah, I think the audience knows what we're getting at. I think
Yeah.
we're just trying to poke the bear a bit deeper to say, yeah, okay, everything that the internet says, maybe, but let's not stop there. Let's not just take the low-hanging fruit of self-care. So anyway,
Yeah.
there's that.
Yeah. I agree. I agree. One other thing that I've thought of while we're talking that we kind of hit on, but I do think the idea of community and doing as much as possible with other people
Yeah.
is the easiest form of self-care that there is.
Yeah. I agree.
Especially with little kids,
Yep.
because it gives them a playmate. It gives you time with another adult, whether
Yes.
you're doing life together or what, if you're doing nothing, just sitting in the backyard watching the kids play, if you're going to a park, it's just has given me so much life just to do normal things with other moms. And I
Yeah.
feel like that can be more fulfilling than doing something by yourself
Yeah.
often, you
Yeah,
know?
I would agree. I'm socially wired though, so that makes sense to me. But
Yeah.
again, this is not meant. None of our conversations are meant to be prescriptive. But like
Yeah.
wherever this lands with you, dear listener,
Mm.
take what's helpful and leave the rest. Number one,
Yeah.
number two. The bigger point here is to start asking yourself again, what helps me show up better for myself and for others. That's it. That's really
Period.
all we're talking about. So
Yeah.
anyway, well, I'm
I
glad we
love
had
it.
this convo.
Yeah, me too. Are there any other true self-care tips that you have or things that you do? Maybe they're not tips for everybody, but things that you consider self-care?
Truly for me, okay, I'm going to just run you through my very,
Run it.
very, very practical list.
Yeah.
I mean, we're like, wow, we're getting into the nitty gritty.
Yeah.
The kitchen
Always.
is clean every night. I'm running the dishwasher every night. The coffee is prepped every night. That alone, if I'm waking up to a freshly brewed pot of coffee that I didn't have to press a button and wait for, that's it.
Yep.
Waking up before Ethan matters a lot to me. That for me is a big part of
Mm.
self-care. I deeply love just my coffee time and my reading time before he wakes up. Even if I continue that coffee and reading time while he's playing,
Yes.
it's still I like just a little minute to myself.
Yeah.
Reading matters to me. I deeply care about not scrolling my phone and using a phone for entertainment. I really love a book and keeping my car clean and like the house clean. I mean, if there are systems, I mean, I'm thinking about my pantry right now. I'm like, getting a little overwhelmed by it, getting a little frustrated by it. Got to
Yeah.
go get some more clear containers. These are the things that really give me joy.
Yeah.
And also a non-negotiable for me, a absolute non-negotiable for me, apart from like moving my body and eating well. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Is time with my girlfriends. And we have to set a time, like it might be just once a month, but damn it, if we don't get that schedule on or that time on the calendar and we shut the restaurant down, but we have that time. I am too
Yeah.
social to not. And so the girlfriends who are in a different season of life and it's harder because we're not at drop off together, the gym together or whatever, you gotta make that extra time. But I'm like, well, sorry, girls, we're setting a standing time because this has
Yes.
to happen. So those are the kind of things.
I love it. I think that's so good. Yeah. Mine's pretty similar. So I love it.
Well, yay.
It's
Okay,
simple,
everyone.
you
Yeah,
know?
it's the simple things, but it's the things that keep the engines moving at, as much full capacity as possible. But like we mean like a rejuvenated, refreshed kind of capacity, not a hustle culture kind of capacity.
Yes. Yes.
Um,
So good.
so, well, everyone, thank you again for being here on this episode of Get Mom Ready. If you would do us a solid and go like and subscribe, that means that you're going to get emails when new episodes drop and our upcoming emails, which are going to be a little different. So stay tuned for that. We're very excited about that. You can go to getmomready.com, hit subscribe, and then it's really anywhere you listen to podcasts. Subscribe, like, share with friends. It helps these conversations continue. We love having these conversations. And you can find us on Instagram at Get Mom Ready. Anna puts up question boxes every so often, I believe. I'm told. Let us know what topics are resonating, what you want to hear more about. And specifically, too, we offer coaching. And so if there are topics that you're like, hey, I feel a little bit stuck in XYZ way, or hey, would you take this example, keep me anonymous, whatever, and like kind of coach through it, we would love to do that. So hit us up, getmomready.com, Get Mom Ready on Instagram, wherever we listen to podcasts. And we're grateful that you're here. Adios, my friends.
Good to see ya.
Bye.